Welcome to this brief tutorial on how to search for and view a location in Google Earth. Before you begin, you'll want to have made sure that you're using the Google Chrome web browser, which I've already opened, because Google Earth, which you can see in front of you here, only opens in Google Chrome. Now, to get to Google Earth, all you would have to do is search for Google Earth, or you can type google.com/earth. I went ahead and I've already opened it for us, so I have Google Earth ready to go for us today. Now, the thing we want to focus on today is how to search for a place. So I want to highlight a tool here in the top left corner. If you look around my blue circle here, you can see a little magnifying glass. This is what we would call the search tool. Now, Google Earth has a lot of tools. They're all on the left side there. But for this video, we just want to focus on the search tool. That's the tool we're going to be using to find a location, to look for a spot, and to learn more about our planet. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on the search tool now. And if you notice, a window has opened up. This window I can use to type out a location. And just like when you Google search something, it's going to give you suggestions as you type. So be on the watch for that as I type. I want to look for the city of Ann Arbor, Michigan today. So let's start typing Ann Arbor, Michigan. And if you noticed, as I typed, the results got closer and closer as I typed in more details. So now I have 5 suggestions that are either the city of Ann Arbor themselves or big locations within the city of Ann Arbor. I could click on any of those results, or I could hit the enter key on my keyboard and it would search for the place. For today, let's go ahead. We got our result exactly like we want. So let's click on Ann Arbor, Michigan. Google Earth's then going to fly me to that location. And you can see now I've got a view from above of Google Earth. Now I want to highlight some things on the screen here. If you look at this border, which I'm going to start to try and trace, doesn't have to be perfect here, but let's start to try and trace this. This border is showing me just how big the city of Ann Arbor is. So one of the first things you can look for when you search for one of these places on Google Earth is you can look for the size of these cities. It's pretty cool to get an idea, to look at these to see. And if you look at Ann Arbor, it's quite a large city that we've got here in Southeast Michigan. So now that we've seen that, we've looked at that, let's get another really cool feature in Google Earth. And I want to look over on the right side of the screen here on this points of interest in Ann Arbor. It's kind of small, so I want to make sure you can see it there around my red box. And what I want to do is click on points of interest. So I'm going to take my mouse and I'm going to click on it. Now, this is a great tool to give me some of the well-known places in the community. And I can click these little arrows and it's going to move my pin and it's going to move the point of interest. So this could be helpful if you're planning a vacation there, if you're trying to get an idea for what some of the locals in the community might do, and it paints a better picture of the community for us. And you can see all of these points of interest spread around the city of Ann Arbor. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to focus on this location here, the University of Michigan Museum of Art. So let's say I want to get a closer view of this. I want to get a closer view of this. I can click on this tool right up here that I'm circling. That is called the Fly To tool. And it looks like a paper airplane like you would throw, hopefully not in class. But we can click on this Fly To and it's going to take us right down super close to that location. So now we've got a much closer view of the University of Michigan Museum of Art. Now, let's say we want to get even closer. So I want to point out one last tool that we can use. Now, we're going to check out Google Street View. So to use Google Street View, we're going to look in the lower right corner. If you look down here in this little section, you can see some options, and I didn't mean to block that off either, but we're focusing on these tools down here now. The one that's going to be helpful for us for Street View is this one. This one's called Pegman, and Pegman is used to turn on or turn off Google Street View. So watch what happens when I click on the Pegman. If you looked there, once we clicked on it, this icon has turned orange, and a bunch of the streets and even some spots off the street have turned blue. I can click on any of these blue lines or blue dots to get a street view of that location. So let's go ahead, let's drop our Pegman right in front of the Museum of Art to get a nice view from the street. And there you have it. Now I'm on a street view in front of the University of Michigan Museum of Art. I can click and hold my mouse to rotate and view the area around it. I can zoom in and out by moving my mouse in and out. And I can even use these large arrows on the screen to move up and down the street. Street View can be very helpful to get an idea for what a place actually looks like if you were physically there. It also gives us a sense of scale, a sense of size that we might be missing from the satellite view. Back there is the University of Michigan Museum of Art, which might not have looked huge from the satellite view, but we can see the people to get an idea for just how tall, how large this place is, and you can see how it wraps around the corner to get an understanding that this is a pretty big location as well. Now, once we're done with Street View, once we've looked around a little bit, we can turn it off by clicking on the Pegman again. And if you forgot where that is, that's down here in the lower right corner. I just went ahead and circled it. If you noticed, he is orange at the moment, but as soon as I click on him again and turn off the Street View, it turned white. Now, Street View is pretty cool, but I'm a little disoriented because things look a little turned around for me. Sometimes that happens when we use Street View. So we want to reset the Earth to a better position. And what we're going to do is click on, in the bottom right corner, this right here. Now this looks like a compass. You might have seen compasses before, or most phones anymore have a compass app. And the red arrow is north. So right now, the bottom of our screen is looking north. Typically, the top of our screen is north, and that helps us understand where we're looking at a little better. So let's go ahead and let's just click on that, and it reset our view. So now the top of my screen is north, I'm not as disoriented, and I've got a better idea of what's going on. And then I can just zoom on out, and I can look around in Google Earth again. So that concludes our basic search through Google Earth. Using these tools when we search for a place is going to give us a better idea of what a place is like so that we can learn a lot about that location. I hope you found this video helpful. Now have fun exploring Google Earth.